Good morning. Hello, Herbert. I can use clippers, Erpaderp. I can. Look at them. Oh, I can use them so good. So much clipping I could do. Could do. And will do. How you doing, Trekan? I hope you're well. We got this. Drilled some holes in it. Now it probably isn't watertight. It's gonna fit nicely on here, I assume. Looks like it's gonna fit nicely anyway. That's not what the next instruction wants, though. They want me to shave bits off of this. And I better do it properly, otherwise people get real mad that I hadn't done the T-34-85D W/DT 5T or whatever, that I didn't do it 100% historically accurate, and they'll fill their britches and I'll have to listen to it. I think there's this and these little... They're barely visible. It's probably barely worth removing them. Did some mouse painting and some empty barrel delivery. Very good. I'm alright. I have slept and woken up. So that's pretty good. I was about to say that's not something you do every day, but usually it is. I should video myself at least shaving some of these off so that people know that that's what I'm doing when I talk about it. Barely anything there in the first place. What have I just dropped? The popsicle stick into my T-34 box. Let's use this sandpaper. That's fine enough grit. Just to go over the... I think that's all on that side. And that's enough video for old Herbert to jibber jabber over. Sleeping and not waking up is called being dead. I've heard of that. Good evening, Mr. Corvus. How you doing? There's 2, 3 more. I can barely see these nubbins here, so I'm just going to leave them. Just because you can barely see them, Herbert, doesn't mean they're there. Surely the ghosts of present nubbins that are meant to not be there will come back and haunt you? I don't care. And there's a couple at the butt. There. Now, that ought to please most of the hang on. Is there more? Maybe? Only just? Yeah, get rid of them. And that's all of the thingies that need removing, except the one there, which probably not visible. If anybody complains, they can be covered with a tarp or something, or some mud. To be fair, they're not really nubbins. They're detail that belongs to a different variant of the T-34. I'm not going soft on nubbins. It wants me to attach the front plate before attaching the lower hull. I wonder if that's a good idea. I was like, wait, what, did I skip some days or something? You must have. There's only one time zone in the world, and today it's currently Tuesday, 9:43 a.m. I just saw Trekan's typo. Well, maybe Trekan's living in the future. Even more of the future. I wonder... It's probably just as easy... Actually, it might make it easier to install this onto the lower hull if it's in place already. That's what I'll do, I suppose. The Nubbin Eraser Spirit has spoken. And the trick is to determine if these little bits that look kind of like they're not meant to be there are meant to be there, and I think they are. Get your camera out. I should probably clip this bit off. Actually, no, I can leave that, because it's giving strength and stability. I hear those are important. Glue. Praise the glue god. I see future Herbert working on a model. Is it a bird? No. Is it a plane? No. It's a burger panther. Forevermore. So a few years back I thought I had a Rip Van Winkle situation. Give me a moment to type up the story. I will attach this in the meantime. Trying to make it neat on both sides is more difficult than I'd anticipated. I guess that plate is meant to stand a little proud, because I can't get it to sit flat against the front, or the sides, rather, in a neat way. Don't drop it, you'll destroy all of your hard work. That's pretty neat. It does look like there's weld in there. Intentionally. Hello to the Australian modelers from Russia. Hello, Konstantin Kras. Welcome. Keep on guessing. Do not consult the so-called guess-structions. I don't know. Don't think guessing's gonna do it. I probably don't want to put too much weight on the plate. Even though there's barely any weight in the upper hull part. Now I'll remove this. It's been a valuable ally. And the fact is, this rear part probably won't flex as much as the Burger Panther did. Does flex a bit, though. How much do I need to remove the nubbins in there? It's probably a case of, doesn't have to be perfect, but they should be gone. Because they're nubbins. Yes. Very good. Put that over there. On the off chance that I need it. Excuse me. I dare say that's going to fit pretty good. With perhaps a little pressurized convincing on one side. So to start off, understand we never get snow before January. What's snow? You're at your aunt's house for Halloween. Went to bed that night. When your aunt woke me up the next morning, she told you your mum had called and that they'd gotten 6 inches of snow. Only an hour drive north. Am I still groggy, half awakened state? I'm thinking I slept for 2.5 months. Nope. We just got a very unusual snowstorm on November 1st. I want snow. Apparently it has snowed in Brisbane on Mount Coot-tha. Because it's a mountain. Not a big mountain, but, you know. Not too much weight in the plate. That rhymes. You're a plastic model poet. Where are the snow speeders when you need them? That's probably had enough time to bond. James Bond. It's mildly annoying that the camera app closes itself when it's not used for like a couple of minutes. Glue for the glue god. Whole top for the whole top god. Blasphemy for the rest of the gods, I guess. Okay, now it's not Ah, you ass shit. It's not behaving as I'd hoped it would. It's behaving belligerently. Probably don't want to stick... Oh, you shit. Stick your finger in the glue under there. That ought to stay. Only get snow every couple of years or so. It's probably better that way. Then you get to have, like, the fun bit of snow, but it's not there every time. I imagine drivers are significantly worse in the snow than they are when it rains. So I don't think I really want snow myself. Unless I get to not go driving. You could do that on both sides, Herbert, and you can hold it on both sides at the same time. This is the part where I've got to really hope that there aren't any more internal bits that I've missed. Just occurred to me that I could have checked that, but I don't think I've missed anything. Next, we need a butt plate, which is 2 parts. The order is a little bit confusing because the assemble the butt plate diagram is below the put the butt plate on the hull diagram. And you know me, I'm incompetent and easily confused. There's also, at the bottom, I don't know if it's part of this step or the next step, but I think it is this step, a little doodad that goes across here. Well, butts can be confusing too. It's true. Probably should have cleaned up these drill wounds too. Can do that now. That's what they're called, by the way. Drill wounds. It did on this side mostly. An easy way is just to do that and go like that. Still looks a bit messy, but there's not so much excess plastic now. It's a Soviet tank. It should be a little bit messy. When I look at the turret ring, I don't see any locking tab mechanism. Yep, I understand. There's lots of tiny little teeth, though. Guess it doesn't quite focus that well. Teeth are good. Good for biting. We've got this. And other bits that will be required. Butt bits. This feels like a bit that could break quite easily. I do not wish for that to happen. No, they're just made up by big teeth, so you have to go and pay the dentist. Big teeth. Always out to take your money. EA is in the game, or whatever the slogan was. It's on the sprue. Well, there's another EA bit. 20. Right there. Right there on the sprue. As is foretold in the prophecy. As is foretold in the tome. Maybe I should keep calling it the tome. That sounds much more exciting than the instructions. Consult the tome. Yes. I have this arrow wagon. I printed and built and primed two. One of them, these are very, very weak and fragile. One of them I dropped as soon as I finished priming it and destroyed it. I thought I just destroyed that one. That made me very angry.
Balls.
Exactly. It's not what I said. I had a few more sweary words about it, but balls is probably something too. Now I'm going to print another one and probably drop it too. I need NG and CA. Well, it's CA. Very convenient. There's a horrible goose around here somewhere. I know, I heard it. Some words related to intercourse? Yes. Believe it or not. CA29. Oh, it's right there. Like that. Hell yeah. Not having too much trouble finding the sprues I want. I like it when that happens. Also quite like this legally distinct Stargate theme. Can't tell if that should be flat. I think that should be flat. That's not a big guide nubbin on the bottom. Picture shows it as flat. They wouldn't lie to me through diagrams now. Refreshing. Okay, those are all for the butt plate. I think what I'll do is install the surround for the butt plate and this front duber so that they can bond while I work on the other bit. Or is that an internal duber? How necessary is that even? It probably wouldn't hurt to have it on. It's probably more if you want to model the hull open. There's a goat around here. Is there any engine components in this kit? I can't get my page turned. Looks like that's a no. No engine bits. So it seems like a silly idea to model the rear of the hull open. Excuse me. But you could if you wanted. Just trying to figure out if that would have any impact on this part at all. And I don't believe it would. No. I've just saved myself valuable seconds cleaning that part up by wasting valuable seconds by determining if I need it or not. Go me! Startling you isn't working. I must be alert this morning. Should I just pretend? I guess. Hang on. Ah! I am startled. That was convincing, right? 500 years of acting school wasn't a waste. I feel like that might just help it sit a little better in some instances. Like at the bottom there, maybe. But it's pretty redundant. I should video a bit so I can waffle about it for several seconds. That's not a good throwing it away. Today I did myself a mischief. I lost my keys in the garbage can. Not the small in my place, but the big one outside. I was lucky first it wasn't the real garbage can, but the one for the paper and cardboard. Second, I saw it, but couldn't reach it. At that moment, a neighbor came around and asked for the help. She went inside and came back with a grill tongs. So what had the potential to become a catastrophe turned into a funny story only. Good. That would be annoying to lose keys. How did the keys end up in the bin? Surely you didn't mistake them for cardboard and paper. Let us now clean this up. There are nubbins. Nubbins most foul. Nubbins on the ends, too. Which way up? That looks correct. Let's try it the other way. That looks a bit less correct, but could be correct because there's weld detail on it. And not so much on the other side. It doesn't have a side profile in the instructions. They ended up in the bin because I had them in my hand when I put some paper in it. Not really as in my hands as it turned out. To cut a long story short, I'm an idiot. I mean, that's pretty easy to do. I wouldn't count that as making you an idiot. That seems a better fit than the other way around, I think. So that's the way I'm going to do it. And if it's wrong, off to T-34 jail with me, I guess. That's probably an awful place. Maybe the box art is helpful. It does seem like there should be a weld seam across the top. So that's the way I'm going to do it. Indecision. Hmm. It's a good idea if I do it. I mean, you do have to keep on top of that. The picture makes me feel conflicted because there's a fairly hefty weld seam along there, but the slope isn't as steep in the picture. And when you've got it around this way, the slope is less steep, but there isn't the big chonky weld seam. I'm going to do it with the weld at the top. It's going to look better, in my opinion, allegedly. And that's what it's all about. Allegedly. Glue. Actually, it's not glue.
Are you kidding?
Yes. It's also fits a bit less gappy around this way. There we go. Looks good. Very T-34. Glory to you and your glue. Glue is much better in the original Klingon. Oakley dokley. Oakley dokley are a Ned Flanders themed metal band. I believe they toured here. Oh man, I took a chunk out of that I didn't mean to. I believe they toured here somewhat recently and I didn't realize until it was too late. That's probably going to fit pretty good. I'll try and neaten this up across the top a bit. And I guess the gluing of details onto it should be done at some point. Or at least the internal bits, because once it's in the hull, it's going to be a pain in the dick to put them in. I dare say this won't need clean up all the way up the pipe, but I should do a little bit where it's going to be visible. Because it's got some hefty mold lines on it. And I prefer my mold lines to, well, to not exist, if I'm being honest. But I would prefer minimum heft. Let's stick these in now. If I don't do it now, I'll forget. And then we'll have an exhaust pipeless T-34. Boy, wouldn't that be an embarrassment. Make sure that I am actually looking at the inside. Why do you have to be so tilty? Ah. Very exhaust pipe. That's where the tank lets out its farts. Don't know how it is in Australia, but gigs have become very expensive in Germany/Europe. Even bands you could see for 35 to 40 euros before the big C are 60 plus now. Therefore, I decided against some concerts, at least because of me. That's the amount of money I don't want to invest. Yeah, same. I think Dropkick Murphys later in the year is $140, which is, I guess, half that for Euro. For Dropkick Murphys, I remember seeing them probably 20 years ago now, actually, for like $15 at the bigger venue in town, which has since been demolished. NoFX was like 100 and some, 110. Rhapsody of Fire are coming later in October, I think. And I don't know how much they cost, but Danny said the ticket price was spicy. So, I don't know. Sucks. I understand why it costs a lot of money for a band to tour in Australia. I didn't realize that they were that expensive in Europe too. That's stupid. In Europe, they could just drive like 5 minutes and be in another town big enough to support a concert, probably. For reference with Dropkick Murphys, I think Bad Religion cost $100 last year. I'd pay more for Bad Religion, to be honest. Not in the target group anymore. I guess that's true. Even local gigs can get stupid expensive, though. I guess venues have most of the mostly responsible for that. I definitely know that local bands playing in local gigs are not sitting back raking in all the money from like a $25 entry fee. You've seen Amorphous, one of your favorite bands, live four times. That's pretty good. I haven't seen them once. I'm pretty sure they've toured here, though. I can't remember why I didn't get to see them. They're one of my friend's favorite bands, too. And he was very, very excited. I think one of my other very best friend's favorite bands is touring here now. Not now, but soon. And she's moved to Scotland, which is probably a better place to see them, being that they're a Greek band. Never seen the appeal of live concerts. I get that. I don't like the lots of people either, but somehow it's much easier being on stage in front of a bunch of people, but being in the crowd is less appealing to me too. I used to just get drunk to deal with it. Then I wouldn't mind so much being like right at the front. Nowadays I sit near the back, near the sound booth, so it sounds good. So I do still very much appreciate live music. But I'm old and crap. Baby Metal played in Germany. Their tickets were 60 euros and they came over from Japan. They just played 60 minutes, but it's no wonder. Because for the singer and the dancers, it's a very physical experience, I can imagine. I guess Japan isn't really that far compared to, like, to Australia. I should glue these bits onto this bit. Actually, it would probably be easier to put this on while the hull is, the rear hull is on the hull. I know what I'm saying. I think that's going to need a little inward convincing on this side. Or we can just claim it's Soviet engineering gaps. Doesn't seem to go in far enough. Maybe looks like it's got a bit of a nubbin there. Hey, Leopard Leonardo. I've heard of Hanabi, I think. I haven't listened to them. I see you're building a really accurate T-34 tank with all the gaps and bits falling off. None of the bits have fallen off yet. We do have the Soviet gaps in places. The question is...
This on? Hey, listen up down there. That thing's called an elevator, not a bathroom.
Don't piss in the elevator. Thank you for the follow, Wadu7. Historically accurate. That's what we're all about here. I take great pains to be historically accurate. I might look at pictures just to know if I'm arsing it up too bad. Or if I really do need the internal doodad. Gaps in the hull are just extra ventilation. Yeah. They're added deliberately to keep the thing cool. I don't think it's really going to matter if I leave the thingy, the internal bit off, because that's how it's meant to sit. It's not meant to sit like in front of that. I do appreciate that it stays like that with friction. There's spaced armor within the armor. Very clever. Those Soviets. Left side is the one that's going to give us guff. So it's going to be the one we oh, piss, ass shit, dog turd, fart, dongler. Clippers will work better to grip that. That is the one fault with that glue bottle. The brush keeps coming out of the cap. I haven't done anything to remedy it, but eventually maybe I will. Don't touch the glue, idiot. I'm just gonna hold that a little bit. Probably good enough. Good strong Soviet rear plate. That'll stay there good and proper forever. I do appreciate how good most of these parts fit. Yeah, tank assembly stuff. Really mysterious and something we can't understand. It's a mystery. It's a sorcery. Yeah. You don't just go to a $75 concert to just have a look. Do you know, by chance, what venue they're playing at? Is it the Back Room? Or are they a bigger band? Glue will help hold that where we want it. Ivan, get the hammer and struck the plate back in place. Percussive maintenance is important. Can I get this on with my fingies? Can you even pick it up with your fingies? No. Friggin' shits. Piss. 75 liters of piss. That looks like it's in the spot. Trifford. That's not a bad venue. A strong candle. These will never fall off. Duh. And there's also exhaust covers. Can't forget them. Imagine forgetting the exhaust covers. You'd have to be some sort of imbecile. Oh, who would do that? I'll just put a bit of glue at the top. And then lose control of position. Looks like some good progress has been made. It's starting to look like a T-34 hull. And that could be all of the steps on that page. Nope. Missed out two little doodads right at the top of the page. You flipping idiot. Idiot. I'm revolting. These are NG1s. If not, just say is battle damage or maintenance. Yeah. Or just cover it in mud and pretend everything's all good under there. Nice and smooth. I have no idea what these are, but they're probably very important. Very difficult to pick up with my fingers. You've got a triangular shape, but it's not a the kind of triangle that's even on all sides or two sides. Kind of hard to see which way they want it to go. I could just guess. In fact, I think I'm largely going to have to guess. Because there isn't a diagram with the angle that shows it from the front. Really? This one, the painting one, does, but there's a headlamp in the way. It probably doesn't matter all that much at all. Nobody's going to get upset about the way plastic models are glued together on the internet. I will listen to that. Not right now because DMCA, but once I'm done streaming. I think it should be mounted so that it forms so that it sits level with the top of the hull. It forms like a flat spot. Kinda like that. No, plastic models are made for friendship and understanding. Oh yeah. Little SOB. That one seems to sit higher than the other one. Now it only sits a tiny little bit higher. And when I look at it through the camera, I can't really tell. That's probably fine. Nobody's gonna see that. It's gonna be hidden by thin air. Okay, so that's all of the doodadery for steps 14 through 17. Probably. Yes. Oh, we get to do swing arms and an engine deck. I choose engine deck first because it's at the top of the diagram. It doesn't specify if there's any kind of order in which they should be done. If I remember correctly, Budget Freddy made a song about Soviet World War II tanks. It goes like, I want the saw, I want the saw, I want the saw, and I want it now. And he sang it with that cadence as well, which is why he's Budget Freddy. Okay, CA, I think I got the CA sprue out. This is EA. But we need this as well. Feck. The carpet monster has got my clippers. Does that count as a carpet monster attack? Surely. Can't eat my clippers, you carpet monstery fuck. While I'm shuffling about, I take my hoodie off. Much better. It's starting to not be as cold. Oh, I think I nudged the handle badly. Is fix. There we go. Be more careful, Herbert, you bumbling buffoon. Lucky you, if you don't get the clippers back from the carpet monster, that's worth 100 attacks. Man, that carpet monster, it's already 105 attacks. I wish it would start to not be as hot around here. I mean, relatable. It's already getting too hot here. I'm gonna have to start using my air conditioner again soon. Don't like that we only get like a week of real cold weather. And by real cold, I mean gets down to 0-ish at night. Stupid Australia. Kill nubbins. Kill nubbins. The trick is to not also remove big chunks of plastic with the nubbins. And sometimes that's hard. Hi, from Australia. Person whose name I can't read because it's in Japanese. think that's cleaned up. Now, do I insert the doodads before before putting it on here or after? The risk is dropping things into the hull and then not being able to retrieve them. That would be annoying. Also, I think actually the louvers that go over there get inserted from beneath. So I'll leave that off for now. What is this, a stream for Bilbo Baggins? I mean, Bilbo Baggins is welcome here. He's the somethingest little hobbit you ever seen. Now I can't remember that Leonard Nimoy song, what he describes Bilbo as. Bilbo Baggins. Something little hobbit that you've ever seen. I don't know. It's a terrible song. CA for Carpet Monster Ass. Of course, the little louvers are on an NF sprue. Like this. Exactly like this. I guess they're not really little louvers, are they? They're quite big. Trying to get them off the sprue without destroying the little pin that will hold them on the hull part seems kind of tricky. When two hobbits come by and throw a ring in your place, it is definitely too hot. So far, that's never happened here, but there is always a risk. Tricksy hobbitses. Just try not to clip too much of that off. Don't know how visible they're actually going to be once the rest of the doodadery is on, but try to make it look good. They're taking the hobbits to Isengard. Neaten them up, but I run the risk of just slicing that little nubbin right off. And that's a friendly nubbin. It's a well-formed pin of a nubbin. And probably the main point of contact between this and the whole top part. Okay, there, ready. What else do we need? There was a hatch that you could have clipped off the EA sprue when you had that. Excuse me. I can find it. Don't have a sprue avalanche. If I'm crushed under a pile of sprues, remember me as I was, full of rage. I'm pretty sure these are the correct parts. Yes, they say the same number. I just started cutting out what looked like the correct part. More nubbins to destroy.
Make it so.
I will make it so. Good enough. Good enough for Soviet work. I never heard Captain Picard say anything good about nubbins. He didn't do that for a reason. Ah, yes, good old Captain Picard. Notorious nubbin hater. Nubbins at Gillard. When the hobby knife fell. Okay. It is time to once again praise the glue god. Lest ye be sent to spend an eternity in glue hell, where no parts are bonded together. And these don't look symmetrical. But they could be. I don't suppose it actually matters a whole lot. It might be worth just leaving them a little bit open. It might make it look interesting if you can see through there. The glue god, praise him. When you look very closely, you see that the Cardassians have so many bubbins. Nubbins? Bloody Cardassians. Miles O'Brien also hates nubbins, by the way. That's why he disliked Cardassians so much. I'm assuming it's perfectly fine to model these opened. Like, they wouldn't do that if it was meant to never be open. Surely. And there is a bit that goes over that as well. The question is, do they have to be opened at exactly the same angle? Do the Soviets have that precision? Kim and Courtney have plenty of nubbins. Gross. Ass shits. I didn't want my little thingy to fall out. Maybe if I was patient and let it sit to bond for a while. You stay there, or else I'm gonna get real mad. Boy howdy, you won't like it when I'm mad. Just gonna leave it sit for a moment while I contemplate the forward idler wheel holder. Yes. Forward idler wheel holder. As opposed to rear idler wheel holder, Herbert, on a T-34. You fool. We need an NF part for that. Not NG. Not CA. Get there eventually. Actually, I do need the CA sprue. No, I don't. I need the EA sprue. Same thing. If you can't read. Fortunately for me, I can sort of read a little bit. And these are different for either side, but I'm sure it's not too hard to keep them separated and not mix them up. Nearly lost that. This one goes on the near side if the front is that way. And this one is the opposite. Death to Nobbins. Make it so. I'm just slicing away some of my thumbnail there. This looks like it's going to be kind of annoying to line the idler up, because it's got keying, but it's like a teethy radial keying all the way around. Not one that will lock it into a specific spot. But I think most of the tracks are individual links, so maybe it'll be fine. That's for future Herbert to worry about. Gross. Those bits don't matter if they get mixed up. It looks like the swing arms for almost all of the swing arms have an individual axle for the wheel. It has to be glued on. That seems a bit annoying. Could be worse, I suppose. Let's try to stick one of these on. How's that gonna work? Oh man, I've bent the machine gun downward a little bit. Gotta be careful with these really thin bits. I've bent the rear handle down again too. Maybe it flopped itself over. Yeah, blame the part, Herbert. That is meant to just go in there, and for the most part it does. Pretty good. I believe that would stop you from mixing the parts up pretty well. You'd have to be real determined. I wonder if it might be worth leaving the axle for the idler wheel off until later to make sure it fits good with the tracks. Maybe not. This is another thing where it would be nice to have like a directly side-on view in the instructions rather than an angle like this, where this piece has more of a wider area for interpretation, because this can be put anywhere, even completely up like that. And I guess that does make sense for like track tensioning, but it is a lot easier when the idler and drive sprockets are in very specific spots. We don't have to put the tracks on for at least 500 years. In fact, they just sort of show up in place. Each track links contains 72 tracks. 36 MH1 and 36 MI1. Oh, that's right. They only have the guide horn on every second link. That could be fun. It looks as though the thing for the idler is relatively straight down. Feck it. YOLO, as the youth say. Have a look at the painting guide for the hint on the track tensioner, but that doesn't really help because it's hidden behind wheels in the painting guide. And I guess that could help if you look at the center of the wheel, but I feel like that maybe slightly forward is right. And if it's not, we'll just remove links of track so it looks right. That's not the painting guide, that is. I don't think that really helps. Because, relative to the rest of the hull, it's harder to see. It does seem like it should be relatively straight down. That's gonna be close enough, as opposed to having it like forwards or backwards. It'll be easier to like fudge it if it's not perfect. And by fudge it, I mean manipulate the track links. They're fairly loose on a Soviet tank anyway, so like we can just bunch them up a bit and it'll probably look fine. So I'm going to glue them into place and expect no consequences. Smash cut to Herbert whining about consequences. You can always hide it in the shiny surface of the earth stuff. Or slimy surface of the earth stuff. Ah, yes. I can read, I promise. That should be good. Now that the louvers on that thing have probably had plenty of time to bond because I faffed about for at least 5 hours there. I have no concept of time. It's still a little bit loose, being the fact that there's barely anything holding them there, but it won't just fall out. I hope. This doesn't look like there is an actual up or down side. There is a correct way around it should be sitting. Also, I assume they open and close, and I have no idea if having these open is related to having them open. Time the feeling. What happens between two farts? What a confusing expression. I'm going to model these shut. And if the T-34 Accuracy Society has a problem with it, please send any complaints to John Q. Dustbin. Yeah, it's not quite perfectly flat, but that'll do. You're not gonna sit in place? Looks like you're intending to just give me guff over and over again. Cop a reasonable portion of glue. And a little SLB. If I was to place this hatch on with this panel on the hull, I'd probably drop it in and lose it forever. So we're gonna do the cautious thing. It's a good fit. It does have a bit of flex to it, which is annoying when trying to press down on that hatch. But don't worry about it. It seems to have come up a little bit. Hmm. Does sit a little high on this side, but that's pretty Soviet of it, really. The only problem I have with that is it may, probably won't, but it may impact the fit of the bit that goes over that. So I don't want to just leave it sitting high. That handle keeps shifting. I don't want that. Okay. The next step for this step, it seems to be not torsion bars, the swing arms. And then the engine deck top doobie whatsits. But I'm getting hungry, and I should do something about that instead. It's almost been 2 hours, which is roughly our usual stream length for me. So I might do a small raid and then bugger off. I'll probably be back tomorrow night for the never-ending Burger Panther. Didn't stream it last week because I felt like poo-poo and went to sleep instead. Doesn't look like there's anybody I want to raid on. I'm going to raid Loading Ready Run. They're playing something called Rabbit and Steel. I don't know what that is. But Loading Ready Run are good folks. If you haven't watched it already, go and watch my the first half of the Burger Panther build video. Or else. I don't know what the consequence is, but probably is one. I would recommend the Burger Panther kit, the Tacom full interior one. If you are patient or have a lot of time or just really like full interior kits, it's good. There's a lot of parts and they're fiddly, but like, I wouldn't say they're annoyingly fiddly for the most part. They're good. Don't leave us, we need you. That's not true. I'm going to start raid now. I'll be back tomorrow with Burger Panther. Burger Panther forever. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Make raid go now.